The Matrix is have you seen the movie?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so in the movie The Matrix, we're in a computer-controlled reality, right? They've projected a false reality into people's minds to entertain them while their bodies are being exploited by the machines. And it's very similar here in the real world. You are inside of a reality which is false. It doesn't necessarily have to be computer-controlled, but it's certainly media-influenced.
But who controls it?
The people who are behind the media machine, the people who are in charge of the world, which are also behind the governments. And the point I'm making when I say the Matrix is they will tell you false versions of reality. They will tell you things that simply aren't true so that you believe in lies to keep yourself and your mind distracted while your body is being exploited for work. And it's exactly the same thing as the movie itself. We can sit and discuss and go through conspiracy theories of who I believe these people are. But the truth is, you have to understand there's very influential people out there in the world with massive amounts of money, massive amounts of influence.
Yeah.
And they're trying to push certain agendas and ideals on the population because why wouldn't they?
But I kind of want to know, who do you think they
know a lot more than I even say. But let me give you a simple example of it, right? So if you have a company, you have a podcasting business, let's say.
Okay.
If you hire a member of staff who doesn't agree with you and doesn't do as you say and doesn't listen to you, you're going to fire him.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to want people to listen to you because you're in charge and you have influence. So if there's people who print money and they're literally in charge of banks and in charge of governments and they own the world, whatever they believe, whatever their influence, whatever their worldview is, they want to purport that and propagate that on the population on the planet. And that's what happens where we have these ideas which are very heavily defended, and certain ideas which are not allowed to be discussed, and a false reality which exists in which conversations cannot be open, dialect cannot be open, certain things must be accepted as fact, certain things can't be discussed at all. And this all comes from the top. This is not an accident. This comes from very powerful people trying to push a worldview on the populace.
Do you think Bill Gates is part of the Matrix?
I think that Bill Gates is an extremely rich, influential person who certainly has had a role to play in certain agendas across the last few years.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of, you're thinking of it more as a small select room of people who are trying to control their world like a superhero movie.
Yeah.
It could be like that, but it's not like that. What it is you have very influential people with a lot of power, with a lot of resource, who are interested in creating slave minds amongst the general populace because they don't want to upset their very fortunate position in the world.
Yeah.
So there is a genuine and obvious agenda to attack masculinity as a whole, for example. The idea of masculinity, they like the idea of that being attacked. There's also obvious attempts to accelerate certain other ideas, whether, especially in the West, right?
Yeah.
The idea of children changing gender or putting sex in children's movies like Disney, etc. This is not conspiracy theory.